For centuries, you needed law firms to draft, review, and negotiate business legal documents. Not anymore. Let's run through a real-life example common to a growing company. Let's say your company recently raised investment, and you've been tasked with making sure that all your company policies, employment agreements, and customer sales agreements are up to date before the end of the year. After hours of phone calls and long emails sent back and forth with your lawyer over 3 weeks, you finally get one document back, only to realise that not much has changed and you still got slammed with an £8,000 or $10,000 bill. You can only imagine how much it'll cost to discuss, review, and edit every document you have and bring them up to date and make them legally sound. Now, don't get me wrong, there are lots of great law firms out there, but this scenario is all too common, especially when the billable hour incentivizes time, not quality. If only you could claw back that time and money. Well, with Genie AI, you can. On Genie, there are thousands of legal contract templates, agreements, policies, and letters you can choose from. In our case, I want to improve our sales agreements, so let's search for a master services agreement. We have two options here. I'll pick the one that's been used 211 times. Here we have a lot of useful information on the page, like a description of the template, who's used this agreement in the past, a version history where you can see that we're constantly updating these agreements, and even a full preview of the template text below, without even needing to sign up. Let's go ahead and use this agreement. Now you're signed up, you've got the document open in the Genie editor, you've got square brackets and variables highlighted in yellow. Easily, you can just fill this in. Template doesn't fit your needs, or you want to create a highly bespoke agreement? Well, why don't we just ask Genie to draft something from scratch? That's right, you can create any type of legal agreement from scratch with Genie. Now let's say you've got your agreement ready, and you'd like to check it to see if it's accurate and to see if you've missed anything. You can now use Genie AI's risk review feature. All you have to do is click on the review feature here and choose which side of the contract you represent. In this case, we're the supplier. Our AI review feature is now automatically reviewing every single clause in the contract and flagging whether it is red, high risk, amber, medium risk, or green, low to no risk. This is a 30-page document, which would normally take a lawyer maybe 2 weeks and thousands of pounds or dollars to do. Within seconds, we've already reviewed 200 of 500 or so clauses. Within a couple of minutes, the whole document will be done. Genie has red flagged this particular automatic renewal clause. Let's see why by clicking on the comment it left for us, just like a lawyer would have. Genie has explained here the clause, picked up the key numbers and mentioned whether the clause is normal and market standard. And finally, how this clause might be subject to negotiation when you send this to your client for review, which is so useful to know ahead of time. If you disagree with any of the risk categorizations, you can just click on the bar and instantly recategorize it for your own reference. Now we've seen what's high risk, let's come back to it and find out how to reduce that risk by asking anything of our legal assistant. Want to know what this clause means in plain English? Want to know which clauses are unfairly in favour of the other party, or unfairly in favour of you? Maybe you want it to be fairer. Want to know what the document is missing? Maybe it's a schedule or an appendix that is referenced but not there. Let's edit the document a bit more. Let's just go ahead and delete these guidance notes. We can also add comments, make edits, and track changes. Proper version control built in. Then you can finally share with your colleagues or your clients for review and negotiation. If you want to, you can add new documents to this particular project, and you can rename it, perhaps with your client's name. You can also share the project itself and all the documents within it with your colleagues or perhaps externally to the client, so they can see all the documents in this project. While we built this for the USA and UK markets, we now have 32,000 law firms and businesses across 48 jurisdictions relying on Genie's legal assistance so they can reduce their legal fees and focus on their business instead. Oh, and just as a reminder, while it's in beta, our AI legal assistant is completely free to use.